My name is Claudia Murphy, and I've been in the U.S. for 20 years. The day I left my country, it was the day of my wedding. I mean, I got married to an American citizen, and so I had to move over here to, first we moved to Arizona, and then we moved to California, and then Arizona again, California, and now we're living in Boulder, Colorado. Um, it's easy, just, I mean, my story is just, it was never really difficult for me to move over here, to move anywhere. The doors were always open for me, very different to other people. Like even before getting married, I could travel to this country. I could come and do some shopping with my parents and all that. So it was not really a big exchange or anything. And when I met my husband, I really didn't have plans to move to the U.S. I mean, it was never really my plan. I had a great life in Mexico, and I loved living there, and I have a great family. I have everything. But I mean, I fell in love, and I had to move. And I'm fine. I mean, we're very happy, and I'm very grateful of whatever has happened in this country. And we're still married, happy, 2 kids. And it's a great story. I can go back to Mexico whenever I want. My parents can come. And so it's not been really that hard. It's just hard being away from family sometimes. And now that my kids are older, it's just difficult that they cannot share so many things. But we're so close, and we have so many things right now. We have Facebook, and we have screen time. We have, I mean, so many things that we can do that it's not really like before, or like people that cannot go back to their countries or cannot travel. So it's so I think it's a different story. But no, you very nice.
Nice, Claudia. It's a very interesting story, and you mentioned to me before we started the interview that you were from Veracruz, and it's a very nice state in Mexico. So my story, I am from Michoacan, and the first thing I remember, I mean, it was in 2009. I went to, 2007, I went to study to Italy. As part of my major, I did my major in Puebla, chemical engineering, so I went to study in Italy for 1 year. And it was difficult the first time because you miss family, you miss food, but Italians and French and Portuguese, we are very similar in our habits, culture, things that we like. We're very loud, so after a while I really like it, and I love the experience living overseas. So I applied for a master, and I got my scholarship. I went to study to Saudi Arabia, and I did my master in environmental engineering, and there I met my husband. And also, as you mentioned, we moved to different countries because we love each other and we wanted to be together. He is from Lebanon, and so far our experience has been amazing. We have a baby girl. She is 16 months, Irene, so she's half Mexican and half Arab. And I tell my friends that she can be the worst nightmare for some people because she is half Mexican and half Arab. So we're trying to tell her, you're American because you were born here, but you need to keep these cultural values on you. So my husband always speaks to her in Arabic, and I speak to her in Spanish. And yeah, we're gonna try to involve and to pass the values that we were having in back in our countries. And I agree with you. I haven't had a bad story or a bad experience living in the U.S. I'm grateful for this country. It has given us a lot of opportunities, and now that I'm working more with the community, I want to support more the Latino, the Hispanic, paisanos. And I don't know you, but I think we can do great things in America, and all of us, we are American continent, and we have to take advantage of the resource that we have here in the U.S. and live as one, because we breathe the same air. We all of us, we pay taxes, and we share the same food. We are one in one country, so I think we can do great things together. And yeah, I'm happy here to share my story. Do you want to continue with?
I think there's a lot of people who are in this country who really like our culture, and they really, everywhere I've been, everywhere, there's always people that are interested in what I cook, what I do, my language, and everything. I've never really had a negative experience, as you said. Never, like, never felt any kind of I don't know, negative feelings or anything because of my country or my culture or anything. Like, never. And so it's hard for me to try. I don't know why some people find these experiences, and I don't know. Is it because we are in another world or another? I don't know. Like, because I mean, I never found it. Like, all my friends have always been very helpful and very nice and very interested in the culture, and everybody always tells you, I go to Mexico, I know this place and that, and they try to engage in your country and in your things. And I mean, so it's just incredible that I don't know who are these people who are just being racist and who are not being fair with other people. Like, I mean, but I'm lucky I've never found them, and I hope I never do, and my kids don't find them either.
Yeah, I think it has to do with education. When people is exposed to experiences, to travel overseas, to read literature that is not just in English. I mean, they can get exposed to what other people think, how other people live, and maybe some people here they just focus on some local news or local channels that they don't have exposed themselves to learn about our
That's
culture.
true.
But now we see that, for example, the Day of the Dead, now we see that more cities, more communities are doing those events just to expand our culture. Because something that personally I want to change while being here is the common notion people have about Latin people, that they are lazy, they just eat tacos or drink tequila. No, we are very formal, we are professionals. We sometimes even we know more information than other people, so we can offer a lot into this country.
It's true. It's true. And then about the cultural differences, there are some cultural difference. I mean, friendships are just very different. Like, 2 years ago, we lived in Mexico for 1 year. I wanted my kids to experience that because I knew it was different. So I wanted them to experience the Mexican culture and everything. So we went to Veracruz for 1 year, and they went to school and everything. That year, just 1 year, I made more friends than all my life, the 20 years I've been in the U.S. I mean, it's different. But it's not better or worse, it's just different. It's just different, and it's here you have to learn how to deal with people. You have to be very careful, very respectful, and in Mexico you already know, they kind of know who is going to be your friend almost just looking at them. Like, you already know, and you can tell, like, where they studied, and you already can measure how they are. Here it's very difficult to know who is who. So I mean, for me it's just difficult to read, but still I think it's it's multicultural. Everywhere I lived in California, here, I found people from all over the world, and I've always been friends with people from all over the world. So I mean, that's what I like about this country, that you find really people from different places, and you can make friends with them, and they understand you and you understand them, and I think that's very, very nice.
Yeah, I agree that although there are like many issues going around, I think we as an immigrants, we should respect the place where we live, because it's not our native country. So yeah, I thank for all the equity, diversity that some Americans are offering to our community, but we as a Latin people must understand that we are immigrants, and we should respect them, the system, the rules,
Exactly.
how things are. And then I think by doing that we can like create a link, a bond with them.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, I haven't lived in Mexico since 2007, but you are right. If you go there and you see people, you say, hey, mi casa es tu casa, your house is my house, you are my friend. And sometimes being like that, it helps us to break the ice and to build bridges with other people. And at least, I mean, this is happening at my work, and it's helping me a lot. But I'm also very thoughtful and respectful regarding the system.
Yeah, 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 it's true. And the language too. I mean, there's a lot of people who come to this country and they don't want to learn English or they don't want to speak English. You just have to. You have to learn English. You have to learn the rules. You have to follow the rules. You cannot do whatever you were doing in your country because it's not like that. So you just have to follow the rules, and there are some things you don't like and some things you like. But I mean, everywhere you go, it's going to be that way. Like there are some positive things, some negative things. You just have to be positive and just look at the good things, and then just, I mean, value those things, and then just try to be happy and try to, I mean, be yourself, but respecting others, as you say. I think that's very important. Yeah.
And regarding the last point, and how do I contribute to United States? I think I work in the sustainability program here in Boulder County in Longmont. What I do is like trying to build bridges between the Anglo business community and the Latino community, because my program is focusing on the sustainable business program. So we want to recognize businesses for the amazing efforts they are making to reduce their environmental impact, acting socially responsible, and contributing to the local economy. And I am like a cultural broker because I know the system and I know different multicultural communities, and I want to involve everyone. I want that all resources are available to everyone. If we can make some material in Spanish, okay, great. But if not, I'm here to translate what is there to the Latino community. And so far it has been a great experience, and I hope to contribute more. And as I told you, I mean, be only one entity in one country.
Yeah.
Of course, respecting our different cultural background.
Yeah. I think that when we say contribute to America, we have to think more about contributing to the world. Like right now, even what you do, I think you're contributing to the world, not only to this country, but to everybody.
Yeah.
And so it's more of a thing that we have to think about that. Like, how are we contributing to America? What are we contributing to the world? Even educating our kids. Even them being bilingual, them respecting other cultures, them talking to them, be with them. I mean, there's so many things we can do, and we can share also our values. There are lots of things here in the U.S. that they don't have. They don't have the same values that we have in our countries. So we have to let them know, like, okay, they think, yeah, it's important to have money. It's important to have this. But it's important also to have friends. It's important to be with your kids. It's important to listen to them. You can be friends with them. You don't have to forget about them when they're 18 years old and they go away. I mean, you just don't have to do that. Here, families are just separated. In our countries, they are not. In our countries, like, everybody gets together. My family gets together. All of them get together. And it doesn't matter how old they are, where they live. I mean, I go and visit, and everybody goes and visits us. And everybody goes there. So they have to learn that from us. And I think, I mean, all over the world, I mean, we have to be that way. Like we have to just try to share that and just try to contribute to America, to contribute to the world, and contribute to everybody. Just try to make better people and just to be better persons, and try our experiences here, maybe just bring them there. As you say, I mean, with the things that you do, I think it's super interesting what you're doing, and it's very good. Like, and maybe you can export that to another country too. I mean, later, not just keep it here, but just export it to another country, and that'd be very valuable.
Especially our countries. I mean, that they are like developing countries that they don't have the sustainability and the environmental focus a lot, because they are more focusing on social and economic issues first. But yeah, you're right. If they see that it's working here, why not to transport that framework to other countries? Because Central, South America, Mexico, they are very rich in natural resources, and if we are not careful, we really can face a lot of issues in the future. And as you say, our family, our kids, those are the guys gonna face those problems.
And all over the world. It's not only
and all over the world.
Yeah.
And especially in the developing countries. Well, it has been nice talking to you and learning about your experience. And yeah, I think educating our kids, and now you see more, the schools are more diverse, so I think sharing the values there will be helpful as well.
Yes.
Thank you. I would like you to speak about being married with somebody that is not from your same country. I think that is super important because you both share this experience of being married with somebody with another culture, and how do you navigate these differences?
Wow. I mean, it's amazing, but at the beginning was hard because the Arab people similar, like family values are very important and we're like close. But about being how warm and social we have a lot of difference. I just give you a small example. In Mexico and maybe mainly Latin Americans were very huggable, we kiss each other on the cheeks, and in the Arab countries it's no touch, it's forbidden. You just do that between relatives. So dealing with and navigating that with my husband at the beginning was hard because he went to Mexico and imagine all my aunts, cousins, they were, hey, hi, how are you? So he was shocked. And when I went to his country, I used to go alone to a shopping mall or restaurant, etc. So there I cannot go alone because no, a woman cannot be walking alone in the street. So it was hard. But so far, I mean, and thank God we have managed that. And now he goes to Mexico and he's the one that says hi to my aunt by himself. So now I go to his country and I don't have any problem to go with some people outside in the street.
Good. Yeah. My husband, he's really a citizen of the world. Like, he was born in England, and he was, I mean, his mom is Spanish from Spain, and then his dad is American. And he lived in Germany, he lived in England, he lived in Spain, he lived in the US, in Massachusetts, Arizona. So when I met him, I mean, I think that's why I fell in love with him, because he's just in everything.
Yes.
Like, he's not really just one country. So he's just, I mean, a person. And I think we have a lot of values in common, and that's what we found. And we have just adapted our family to our values, not really to one country's, values or anything, it's traditions. I mean, we have really adapted, and we do lots of things as we do in Mexico, and we do lots of things like as they do in Spain, and then he does some things like in Germany and all that. So we're very open, and he's very, very open and very nice, and he speaks Spanish, and he speaks German and everything. So he's very open-minded and more Latino really than American. I think when he was in Mexico or that year, he was so happy that he's really thinking about retiring in Mexico instead of here. Like, he felt, I mean, really at home there. He was very, very happy.
Yeah, my husband feels the same. He wants to retire in Mexico, in Puerto Vallarta.
Yeah, my husband too is like that. He wants to go to Veracruz. He's already making plans and everything. Just depends on the kids and everything. But I mean, he just felt really welcoming. Everybody would just be so welcoming. Even though he looks, because he's tall and green eyes and everything. I mean, everybody would talk to him. Everybody would just, I mean, hug him. And even we could go to a restaurant. They would know him. They would know already what he would order. And so they would have his beer ready. They would have his tacos ready. Everything ready. Because they knew. And he just felt so happy over there. Like, so happy, really. And we have some friends coming over. And, I mean, he really loves the culture of the people. And he fell in love with everything. So that's very nice.
Yeah, and again, we're going back that he was exposed to different countries, to different cultures. So I think that's important for people to be open-minded. And about being racist, I think all humans, we are racist, just in a different way. We just need to find a balance and to respect more the people we live with. Well, thank you, Rosanna, for having us.
I really think that is a great point. Thank you so much, guys, for coming here. Berenice, Claudia, I'm really touched that you are sharing these deep things. One of the things that I want to point out before you go, and that you can, share with the people that are listening to you, is, as immigrant, as I'm also an immigrant, and as you are from Mexico, the situation that is happening right now in the border, with a lot of people coming from South America, and going to Mexico and then crossing the border, and it's a situation that is so difficult. Really similar in Ecuador is happening something that has to do with Venezuela. A lot of Venezuelans are going to Ecuador to look for a better life. So if you can close by telling me this, what are your thoughts about this?
Well, I don't blame those people, because I know that they will leave their country just because they want, and they want just to come here or in Mexico. But I still believe that there should be a program between all Latin Americans and the U.S., like the Braceros programs in 1994, where people can come here and work and then have a compromise to go back. A win-win, a ganar-ganar for both countries. I still believe, and that could be one solution, like to have immigrants to work here for some time and then go back to their countries. Why not? And if there is a chance that maybe this immigrant excels in his job, maybe he can be offered to have a visa for employment or things like that. I still believe in that program, and if it was successful in the past, why not now? I know that in the past there were less amount of people, but we have the resources, there is the technology. I think just the countries need to sit down and talk about it.
Yeah, I agree with Berenice completely. I think everything has to be legal. I think the way that things are done are just not the right way, both ways. Because I think the U.S. is not being really honest about how much they need the immigration. They really need these people. We need these people in the restaurants. We need these people in the fields. We need these people because we don't have the people. You can see people, some businesses that are closing because they don't have enough people to work. In the gardens, in things like that. So they really need the immigrants, but they are not honest about it. They think that they don't need them, and they're just, and they do. So there has to be a program, and just be honest and say, okay, we need 2,000 people. Let's just get them, and let's just get them in the right way. And so for this time, and then they can go back to their countries, and then just be open about it. But I don't know why someone is being why is this being managed this way? Because it just doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense at all. So, hopefully, as you say, Berenice, maybe it will in the future. Some people can do something about it, and we can just speak up and say, okay, let's just open up and let's just talk about it and see, okay, what do we need? We need gardeners, we need people in the field, we need this. Let's do this, and let's make them, let's pay them fairly, then treat them fairly and everything, so they can come and they feel welcome. Yeah.
So my background is in engineering, and especially environmental, and now I'm focusing on sustainability. And sustainability, as you may know, is meeting the social, economic, and environmental needs of today's people without compromising those needs for future generations. And I am working more on the economic side of sustainability, but environmental is important, because what world we're gonna leave for my little baby, for your kids, and so on. Yeah, it was really impactful to see this lady speaking up about that, because it's a lady that will face the current problems that are happening now. We saw all those fires in California, the hurricanes in Florida, Texas, and we saw many problems in the Arctic and the Antarctica because of that. And the people is not, because it's not close to you, you don't feel it in your pocket, or it's not happening close to your house, you may not think about it. But if you really study and look at the news and listen to the radio, see scientific papers, it's happening, and it's a problem that our kids now they will have to study those measures to find out solutions, how to solve all the problems that our past generation and current generations made to this world. And some people said that maybe the future wars will be on natural resources, especially water.
Yeah. My background is marketing. I studied marketing, and now I'm working. I have 2 programs, 2 radio programs, BBC and El País, and a Spanish-speaking radio station. And I read a lot of news about environmental too. And it's very important. I know it was bad, but now that I'm reading about it, it's just worrisome. Even if it's not affecting us, I don't think, even if we fix things right now, we're not okay. Like, even if we do something right now, we are not okay. Like, I mean, the treaties that the countries have made about keeping the warmth of the country, I think it's 1.5 degrees centigrades more. That's not enough. It is going to affect us even if we do that, and the countries are not doing that. So I don't know what's going to happen, and I don't know who's not taking this seriously. But I mean, there's so many signs already that this is affecting our world and affecting people, and they are just ignoring it. Everybody's just thinking about making money and making, instead of what are we going to live off? Money? We're not going to eat money. Money is not. It's not important. I mean, and we have the money to make these programs and all that. Let's use it wisely. Let's help these countries, because there are lots of undeveloped countries, as you say, that maybe they don't have the infrastructure, they don't have the information. Try to help them and try to open their eyes and say, okay, let's do something about it.
And something that those countries, developing countries, are saying is like, okay, you super world, developed world, you had your time. We have an England that they were using coal a lot during the Industrial Revolution. They pollute a lot, but now they are implementing many measures. But what about those developing countries that they are growing? Yeah. They won't have their boom because the developed world already made a lot of issues about it. So they are saying, okay, you want me to be environmental friendly and to make some measures, but I didn't have the chance to boom as you did. So there is many things on the table that they have to agree on it, because for us now we're not gonna face that. We're already, we're old. In relatively talking, but our future generations, those babies that haven't been born, those people who are the ones facing these challenges. So I'm hoping that the countries, they realize that there is a damage, they acknowledge the damage, and they act on it.
Yep.
Okay, thank you very much, Rosanna. It was very nice talking to you.
Thank you. Bye.
Chicas, gracias.
Yeah,
Ya vamos a cerrarlo todo.
That's what I think.
¿Estás bien, no? ¿Estás bien?